There are those among us who walk with honeyed words and daggered hearts, people who mirror your dreams, speak your language, and yet there's a shadow behind their smile. They are not merely vain, not merely selfish. They are architects of illusion, narcissists. You don't confront them with shouting matches. You don't corner them with ultimatums. No, you unmask them quietly, not with rage, but with elegance. You dismantle their fiction not with fury, but with a single deliberate question. And that question is this: how do you think I felt when you did that? It is not dramatic. It doesn't come from vengeance. It comes from clarity, and that's why it is lethal. Because you see, a narcissist cannot comprehend your inner world. They cannot imagine pain unless it is theirs. They are masters of manipulation. But empathy, that's a tongue they do not speak. Ask them that question and watch. Watch the shift, the flinch, the twitch in their jaw. The delayed reply as they fumble, not because they don't know what they did, but because they never thought they'd have to consider how it affected you. They'll avoid the question. They'll say you're too sensitive. They'll turn it around. Why are you bringing this up now? They'll even try to paint you as the aggressor. I can't believe you're accusing me of that. Because to answer the question honestly is to step out of their kingdom of mirrors, and they won't do it, not willingly. You've exposed the fracture in their mask, not with violence, not with chaos, but with surgical elegance. You've turned the light inward, and they cannot stand the reflection. A narcissist survives on your confusion. Your emotional fog is their castle. They build it brick by brick with guilt, with charm, with false promises. But a clear question, asked calmly, asked with eyes steady, shatters the illusion. They are not built to face themselves. They live in projection, in performance, in power games. But when you ask them how you felt, how their action affected you, you're pulling the curtain back on the tiny, trembling figure behind the monstrous mask. They're not grand, they're not invincible, they are fragile, terrified, desperate to be seen as gods while doing everything in their power to avoid their own humanity. This one question disarms them because it demands something they do not possess: empathy. And yet it is not for revenge. No, this is not a weapon of cruelty. This is a test of truth, a moment where masks drop and souls reveal themselves. It is not a battle, it is a mirror, and when you hold it up, you don't need to argue. You don't need to defend, you just wait. Silence is your ally, reflection is your sword. You will see them twist, or you will see them run, and both are answers. Ask that question not to destroy, but to awaken. Ask it not to prove them wrong, but to reclaim your peace. You do not need to raise your voice to speak truth. You only need to ask with stillness. Let your calm become their storm. Let your clarity be the earthquake that breaks the stage they stand on. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You have simply, finally, asked the question that their entire identity is built to avoid, and once you ask it, you will never see them the same way again. There is something chillingly beautiful about simplicity, the way a single drop of ink can ruin a page, or a single word can fracture a lie. Narcissists thrive in complexity. They wrap their behavior in riddles, excuses, and selective memory. So when you slice through all that with a question so direct, so soul-piercing, it forces truth out of their grip. It is nothing short of revelatory. The question is not rhetorical. It is not poetic. It is surgical. How do you think I felt when you did that? Notice it doesn't accuse. It doesn't even name the act. It invites reflection, a terrain where narcissists are not at home. The moment you ask this, you're asking for something they have never practiced: perspective. You're asking them to cross into your emotional territory, a land they've only ever seen as a conquest. They don't like that. They stumble, they buy time, they distract, or they strike back. Why? Because the question reveals something ancient in the psyche: empathy. A narcissist, being terminally self-focused, is unfamiliar with this terrain. They are emotional tourists in the world of other people's pain. They might nod, they might fake sincerity, but push deeper and you'll find emptiness. Their mask is not held by glue, it is held by ignorance. And when you expose that ignorance, their kingdom begins to tremble. What they fear is not your anger, it's your awareness that they never truly cared to know how you felt. That's what this question exposes. It doesn't cause chaos, it reveals the one they already created. To answer your question honestly, a narcissist must first admit to wrongdoing. They must admit they hurt you, and for them, that's not just difficult, it's existentially threatening. Because their entire image is built on a lie. I am always right, I am always good, I am always the victim or the hero, never the villain. But that one question ruins their theater, because in that moment they cannot deflect. They cannot edit the past. They are being asked not to explain themselves, but to explore your reality. That's foreign ground for them. It's like asking a fox to explain the agony of the henhouse. They'll squirm. Some will laugh, others will get angry. The smart ones will act deeply thoughtful. I never thought about that. But watch closely. Do they follow that admission with responsibility, or another monologue about how hard their childhood was, how stressed they are, how misunderstood? See, empathy is not a script. It's not something you rehearse. It's the silent resonance of a human being acknowledging another. And narcissists, they don't resonate, they calculate, so they'll give you logic. They'll give you justification. They might even weaponize their pain to eclipse yours. But what they won't give you is a genuine reflection of your experience, because that would require admitting they're not the protagonist in your story. And narcissists, they don't do second place. We live in a world that fears silence, but silence is not weakness, it is not void, it is presence. And when you ask the question, how do you think I felt? What you do next is just as powerful. You say nothing. Because in that stillness, everything begins to unravel. A narcissist is a master of momentum. They count on you filling the air with apologies, explanations, emotional smoke. But if you stay still, if you wait, you've stolen their rhythm. You've denied them the tempo of manipulation. They'll fill the silence quickly. They have to. Silence is a mirror, and they cannot stand to see their reflection. They will scramble. Watch how fast the narrative changes. Watch how suddenly you become too emotional or always looking for drama. That is not conversation. That is evasion. Your silence is not empty. It is a stage light, focused. It isolates the truth. It is your power, because silence gives you the gift of watching, of seeing clearly, of knowing without a doubt that the one across from you is not trying to understand you. They are trying to manage you. And in that moment, you'll realize something vital. You were never crazy. You were never too much. You were simply asking the wrong people to care, until now. So ask the question, not to destroy, but to reveal. Not to punish, but to awaken. How do you think I felt when you did that? It is not loud, it does not echo, but it lands, and once it does, it opens a door that cannot be closed again. Because after that question, after that silence, you will no longer be guessing. You will be witnessing, you will see who they really are, not the actor, not the mask, but the soul behind it. And from that point on, your life will never again be lived in confusion, because the truth has spoken. And it spoke through you. Now the mirror stands tall, and they can no longer hide, not from you, not anymore.